Welcome to the next episode of Gym Eat Repeat. Um, First off, I want to start off by talking about the Mr. America, which is going to be October 11th through 13th, 2024, back in Atlantic City, New Jersey. If you're looking for some cool new merch, check out MrAmerica.com and head over to the store. Today, we have another special guest on, and this person, I've been wanting to interview her for a while. There's a lot that I don't know about her, but I've been watching her since probably 2017 or 18, and she just seems to always win. She just keeps getting better. She wins everywhere she goes. She's a multiple time world champion, multiple national champion. She's won shows all around the world. She was the captain of Team USA in the INBA, PNBA. So let's get to it. Welcome, Veronica Malloy. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing good.
Yeah. Did I get all of that right? I mean, you've won so many shows. I want to make sure we have your resume out there.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I've done Universe. I've done Worlds 3 times. I've done Olympia 2 times. I won the Masters Olympia this year. Mr. America on the classic figure. So I think, yeah, I do a lot. I do have a lot of winnings, more than I have lost.
Well, that's fantastic. And now you've always been a figure competitor
Yes.
or classic figure, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
When did you start this winning streak? When did you start competing?
So in 2015, I start kind of spreading my wings to different organizations. So I decided to compete for the NGA, the OCD, WWB, and I just,
WNBF?
yes. So I started competing for those organizations and got my pro card and loved it every minute of it for the natural divisions. And then I decided to do the Natural Olympia because I've always watched, the normal, what they call the normal Olympia. And I fell in love with the criteria, loved figure, and I started working out, building the muscles. Back then is we were a little smaller than what it is now. I mean, some of those girls
Right.
on the other organization, they're massive. So I just decided to go to the route of being natural, and here I am. I stick with MBA for a while because you know, they are popular and they are definitely some organization that I kind of felt like it was more of a family type of thing, and no
Right, right.
cattiness, no fighting and stuff like that. So that's why I identify with that group a little bit more.
Nice. Nice. So, I mean, so back in 2015, I mean, figure it wasn't even what it looks like today. I
Yes.
think the athletes have evolved. The criteria is obviously still the same,
Yes.
but you as a competitor, you look completely different now,
Mm-hmm.
even compared to when I first saw you in maybe 2017. So what's that been like for you? I mean, you've definitely grown. You've definitely added muscle. Do you think that's just a natural evolution of the division?
I think so too. I mean, my opinion is I think is the more the dedication, the more the muscle starts to show, the maturity of the muscle starts to show, and I think I got to that point where I'm getting to that close to where all these girls are evolving the same way. So I think it is evolving. So they are looking for bigger or not so much of a bigger size, but more of that muscle definition that needs to be there. And
Right.
of course, the symmetry that counts 100%.
Well, I mean, your symmetry is, second to none. I mean, when you walk out on stage and you hit your first front pose, it's always like lights out, and I'm always blown away when I see you out there. Now I know, you've lost a few shows,
Yeah.
um, which is normal, right? That happens,
Yeah.
and sometimes you come in, not you, but an athlete could come in maybe not ready for a show, but I've seen you ready and have lost.
Yes.
And for whatever reasons that happens. I mean, how do you take those losses considering you win everywhere all the time?
Um I won't lie to you. It hurts at time because as a competitor, and you're not competing just for second place, you're competing to win. So when
Right.
you come short, it kind of stings a little bit, and it takes a little bit of a time to kind of recoup and think what's next out there. And that's one thing about me. I have never given up, even though that I have stepped on a stage where I felt that I wasn't ready. And I knew that sometimes with personal things going on in your life, those things sometimes can affect how you look sometimes on stage. And I knew sometimes when I knew I wasn't supposed to compete, or but I couldn't just give up. I had to go all the
Right.
way in. And yeah, it stings. It's not something I would say that it's easy for me to just to cross it and move on. I do dwell a little bit just to kind of see what's next, what the person who won, what they were looking for, and trying to get better from the time what I presented to the next competition, and do 110% better. So
Do you think this year the package that you brought to the Mr. America and to the Natural Olympia, has that been Veronica's best?
yes, I I think I the determination that I had from the beginning of the year to now, it was extremely dedicated to one to do to make the old Veronica be no longer representing me. I was going
Right.
to bring the new Veronica, and this is what I've done this year.
Wow. Wow. So, I mean, moving forward, I'm assuming you're going to continue to compete.
Yeah,
I mean, you're nowhere near done. You're nowhere near washed up. Like you're just still climbing.
I might be
So,
old, but I'm still competing.
well, you're definitely not old. You're definitely not old. However, you did do the Masters, so that puts you, you know, you're getting up there, but you're still not old. And definitely in natural bodybuilding, you're not old, right? Like I said, I mean, a lot of people in our side of the sport continue to get better with age,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
And whether that's through the muscle maturity or smarter training or smarter dieting or more rest, whatever that may be. I mean, you seem to have that recipe dialed in because you do just keep getting better.
Yeah, I'm
What
trying.
what's your plan moving forward? Like how do you improve from where you are? I mean, you were, like damn near perfect this year.
I I've been looking from pictures from I'm gonna be posting a couple pictures from when I started into what I look like now. It's a massive a difference. I definitely want to increase a little bit more of a fullness in my legs, because I feel like I do have the symmetry. I do agree with you, but I do need to get a little bit more of a fullness on the bottom, on the tiers. But I think that's my goal for next year. But yeah, you're going to see me around, and you're going to see me in different organizations as well, because I'm going to spread out a little bit more and
Excellent.
go for bigger titles or different titles. So
Right. I love to hear that, there's so many organizations out there that have so many great shows that, it's a little sad when you see people get stuck in one place when they could be out experiencing so much more. The OCB's got great shows, the WNBF's got great shows, the NGA has great shows. I it's great to see people go out there and experience all of those.
yeah,
Don't just get stuck in that one rut.
yeah, exactly.
So, you can't help but notice anybody who's spoken to you before, you do have an accent. So where are you originally from?
I'm from Brazil. I lived 17 years of my life. I lived in Rio de Janeiro, and
Hmm.
I came here to achieve the American dream.
Well, I mean, you're doing it. It looks like you're doing it. I mean, you're, Ms. Classic America. Like, I mean, you're what better title is there than that?
I
I mean,
know.
you're captain of Team USA. You're winning
Yes.
international shows. I mean, you're living, breathing proof of the American dream.
Yes, absolutely.
And you do have a daughter, correct?
Yes, I have a 21 years old daughter. Yeah, she's going
Wow.
to college.
Is she into fitness as well?
She's getting she's she's so funny right now because she's now growing up and going to college and stuff. So it's so funny because she constantly shows pictures of me, and she's really one of my number one fan. Like she's constantly showing pictures and saying, "Oh, look, my mom won this." And she always posts pictures of me, and so she's really cute. She's getting in that conversations. Um, oh, mom, I gotta eat. Because they're 21, so they're not very
Right.
into that fitness yet. But I think she's starting to see mom the way I am, and it has transformed me. And I didn't wake up and I looked the way I did,
Right.
or the way I do
Right.
is a lot of work and dedication. And so that's what I keep telling Danny is it doesn't come easy. It's not a freaking genetics. It's just working and doing it every single day consistently with consistency. So
How old were you when you first started training? Were you into sports growing up or
so gosh,
soccer? Was it soccer?
yes. So
Okay.
I am fanatic. I'm the oldest of two brothers, so we played soccer our entire lives, and then I came here and had a baby at 21, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to start going to the gym and going back to normal, because to me that's normal. I've been active my entire life, and that's when I start getting people to come to me and say, hey, are you competing? I'm like, no, I'm not competing, but I just is starting to get that figure, or that structure, that
Mhm.
people that compete, how they look like. But I was so tiny. So, I'm a 5'4", so I'm pretty well, not
How
so
did how
tiny, but
was it somebody in the gym that got you into your first show, or was it something you decided you wanted to do on your own?
so I had a couple of people approaching and then asking about competing. And then I started kind of getting my, like Googling a little bit, trying to find out what this is all about. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I think I want to try it. Who cares? So I did. And then, of course, the first spray tan, you feel like, whoa, what the heck? All dark and all this stuff. And then the posing, you have to practice posing. You have to, make sure you're doing the right thing. Because I don't do things half way. It has to be completely 100% perfect. Not always, but can be. And I'm a
Right.
perfectionist, so I am really hard on myself. So I did it. And the first show I did, it was an NGA show. I came in third.
Where was that show?
That was here in Utah, by the
Okay.
way. And then 2 weeks later, the coach said, V, there is a NPC show in 2 weeks. Do you want to do it? I'm like, sure. But I said to her, I am not third place. So I got the taste of it. I wanted to go all in. And she goes, okay, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, Mark. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do all the work. I freaking won the show and took overall. I was like,
Awesome.
what? It's not even possible. So, and then I qualified for nationals, went all the way to Las Vegas,
Right.
or because the show that I did was in October, and then Las
Mhm.
Vegas had a national there, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna do this show too. So I went, I freaking won. I'm like, what the heck? So I kept going after all these shows, and I kept winning every single one of them. And becoming pro for the NGA was awesome, and qualifying for the Natural Olympia was awesome, and then kept going to nationals and winning top. I'm always either one or two,
Right.
and then of course when it comes to the difference between the two organization, you have to you have to balance it out. And because I
Right.
come from a line of cancer, I I just didn't want it to cross that line with some of the supplements that they were taking, just because
Right.
I had a uterus cancer, so I couldn't cross that line, honestly.
How long ago did you have uterine cancer?
So Danny, my daughter was 5 years old. So for what, 20 something years ago,
Wow.
26 years ago. Yeah.
What was what was that like? I mean, how did you get past that?
So I was going through some really kind of, just like life stuff at the time, lots of things going on. But my daughter and I, we and my husband, my ex-husband at the time, we lived in Las Vegas at the time. And I went to a normal exam, and then the exam came back as positive, or like diagnosed with uterus cancer. So
Wow.
they told me that I could just do a couple of treatments and stuff and see if I would get rid of the cancer on the wall of the uterus. But when they checked, the cancer was already on the tubes going to my
Right.
ovaries. And if it hits the ovary, then normally is what we call the silent cancer. It kills women 90% of the time. So I just decided to get a hysterectomy and cut that ovary and then take that ovary out. So I just have one ovary,
Wow.
just because,
Wow.
and that's why I only have one kid, just because I didn't have the
Right.
chance to make that choice. So
Wow. That's I didn't know that. That's scary stuff.
yeah, I try to keep
Yeah.
it more of a personal for me, just because
Right.
I don't mind talking about it. It's just because I think at this moment of my life, it doesn't define who I am. And
Right. It may have made you who you are, but it doesn't
yes,
define you.
yeah,
Right.
because the word cancer, to everyone that has dealt with it, is one of the most scariest thing ever. You never know if you, I mean, at that moment, I didn't know how serious it was, if I was going to live, or if it was something simple that I just had to have a hysterectomy, if that, but it's always in the back of my mind. And that's why I decided to become as healthy as I am today, with any supplements that I take, even the water I drink, just because honestly, I would say I became a freak just because I wanted that health to just, not just from the outside, what I've had built as a muscle mass, but I wanted to be really healthy on the inside as well too, because I want to live. I want to be with my
Right.
baby and see my daughter grow up. So
Wow. So, I mean, you're you're like a high performance machine. You mean you're a top level athlete. So I'm just assuming that, all of the foods that you're eating and even the water that you're drinking, you're probably researching and, seeing what's what. And so do you follow like an organic diet, or are you vegan? Do you do anything special? What are you looking for?
no, I'm not vegan, and not anything against vegans either. I just prefer the carnivore diets. I love meat. My husband is a hunter, so he hunts, and I love that about the meats that I get, because it's organic, absolutely.
Right.
Everything else, I do my research as trying to bring more of what I'm lacking. So I do blood work just to make sure that I know exactly what nutrition and, of course, supplements and stuff like that that my body needs. But I try to keep it in a very, very healthy balance, not too much of something just because it feels good. I try to balance it out, anything that I do, just because, you never know it. That's when the trick happens in our bodies, when they change. It's because there is an off balance somewhere.
Right. I like that you mentioned, you get blood work, and, and that kind of tells you, what you're lacking. You right. If you have too much of something or not enough of something, so you then, eat the foods to replenish that, or supplement properly for that.
Yeah,
And over the past few years, I've noticed more and more people are going that route. They're getting blood work done, and they're looking at their labs. Um, but it's not just your labs. You can look at specific vitamins and minerals in your body to make sure you have what you need. And I was never one to just like prescribe supplements to somebody, like, oh yeah, take a multivitamin and that'll cover all your bases, and
yeah,
do this because that's good for you. If you don't need it, you don't need it. And if you don't have your diet lined up properly, like, so I know when I lay out a diet for a client, I can see what vitamins and minerals are in that. And we supplement based off of what you're not getting enough of.
exactly.
right? And I think, I mean, it shows it's obviously working for you.
Yes.
It shows on the outside, for sure. You're vibrant and healthy, and you always look great.
Thank you.
And you're you have a world-winning physique that you just keep putting out all over the place.
I'm trying. I'm trying. These girls are oh my gosh, Courtney. Oh man.
Yeah, she is another
She's
amazing
another
competitor.
amazing athlete, and
Yeah,
I for to know her is a special moment because I met her a couple of years ago, and I introduced her to the family at the
right.
IMBA, and um, it's just so amazing to see how much she has grown, and I mean that is a phenomenal athlete herself too. So
Yeah, yeah. I think the first time I saw her at the Natural Olympia, I think um, sh I know she wasn't like in the top 5.
no, she was actually,
Uh,
yeah, 6, yeah, the first time,
right?
yeah.
She just missed out. Um, and she was the type of athlete that you look at and you're like, wow, you need to keep watching her.
Hmm.
And here we are a few years later. I know she's crushing it all over the place too.
Yes.
So seeing you two on stage next to each other, amongst some of the other women that were up there, it was just it's phenomenal. It's like, yeah, it has to be judged, but you're almost looking at the group of athletes up there in awe, saying, I
Yeah.
can't believe, this quality and this caliber of athlete is all standing next to each other on the same stage. So when you come to the Mr. America, it's definitely different than being, even at the Natural Olympia, right? You've competed against those people, for years,
So
all around the world.
there are some very familiar faces that I've
Right.
known, and throughout because of people knowing some of my titles and stuff like that. Of course, I followed everybody. I try to follow everyone that I see, especially on Mr. America. I followed all the girls from Mr. America, but they are absolutely amazing, phenomenal athletes. So, I mean, I faced them either at some point or another. And,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong, I get a little nervous.
So, I mean, I'm sure that when they heard, Veronica's coming, I guess they get nervous too.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I know I know this, but some people that I'm like, oh crap, she's coming. She's coming. She's gonna be in the show. I need to work 10 times harder.
So, okay, so you've been doing this since 2015.
Yes.
As captain of Team USA,
Yes.
you've traveled around the world competing, right?
Hmm.
Romania, right?
Yeah.
Did you go to Romania?
So
You did,
Romania, Hungary, Czech Republic, Greece, Italy, Australia. Let's see. I think, yeah. So in Italy, we did two cities there. So we went to Rimini, and then we
right?
went to Florence last year. Yeah.
Where was your favorite place to compete?
Oh my gosh, it was
I mean, because
actually,
some of the locations for these shows is just, I mean, they're absolutely amazing. Like, I mean, you might not even be able to pick a favorite. Some of these places were gorgeous. Greece was out of this world gorgeous.
it was. I think not to kiss anyone's butt because where the Caicos come from, but I absolutely loved Greece, and I told
Right.
even I said that I wanted to become, I wanted to pay for the residency in Greece because I loved
So, you had people approaching you about, asking you if you compete. And, I like the term, each one reach one, right? So,
it.
it takes you to get somebody else to compete and so on and so forth, right? So, what kind of advice could you give competitors? Because I know a lot of people, especially coming to the Mr. America, it might be their first time really traveling a long distance to compete, right? They're leaving their backyards, they're getting on a plane and traveling. What kind of advice could you give those newer competitors who haven't traveled so much, on what they should be looking for and doing?
Well, the number one thing is make sure that competition is fun. It is super rewarding. it is a satisfaction that I have to myself when I worked really hard and get to present myself to all the judges. And then, of course, who knows what happens at the end, but I am already a winner by the time I step on that stage. That's my opinion. But for competitors coming into the organizations or trying to, going outside of the box pretty much is, to prepare themselves financially, knowing where they're standing, not thinking that everything is supposed to be just free and stuff, and knowing the direction of what you're doing, knowing what you're looking for, what is the criteria for your body, because people sometimes they don't know what they're doing and they're just going to get their hands wet or their feet wet. And I think they get disappointed so quickly because they don't get or they don't win. Or I think it's just that mentality of trying something new, but knowing that there are some kind of repercussions that you needed to watch for it. And I think be motivated to before you get to a show. That's what it changes your attitude about winning or not winning or going to experience something different. I
Now,
love the experience. I Everywhere I went so far, I've had great times. And of course there's always a negative things every once in a while, but I think it's just the perspective of going to excitement and getting ready to present what you've been working on for so long. And then you get to present the package that you got to bring. So
right.
I think it's just more of that. Try to turn that negativity of not be able to do it or something. Go do it. Go out there, experience, have those experiences so you'll be able to tell and learn, because you're not going to know if you don't experience yourself the first time.
That's great advice. I get out there, go experience the shows, go everywhere.
Yeah.
Have you had, a lot of people they fly, some people, they fly in the day before a show. Some people fly in 3, 4, 5 days before a show because they know how their body reacts on a flight. Have you ever had issues where, you're retaining fluid from the air from the flight and you couldn't get rid of that?
Oh yeah. I think when I went to Florence, my body was reacting a little bit on the negative way, which I was super surprised because I never had anything like that before. And it just happened, and I think I was more stressed out. I think coming back, as I think there was a lot more pressure when you are a winner and then you trying to beat that title again. I think there was a lot of more stress going on in your head, and like trying to come in, because like I said, when you become a pro is a different story. You don't play the small games anymore. You playing with the big boys, big girls, and you wanted to go in and you want to win. And sometimes some negative things can happen, but I mean, I just put it in one shoulder and I kick it out when I doesn't serve me anymore. So I try to learn from those experiences, but it does happen every once in a while where the water doesn't drop the way I want it to. So
Are you traveling with your food? Do you
yes,
prepare everything beforehand? Do you bring it with you?
yes, I prepare everything. I have all the tricks to, if I don't have a fridge in the room, if I don't have a microwave or anything like that to warm up my food, I have all the tricks because I've done trips from, gosh, the longest one was Australia. That was the hardest
Uh-huh.
one. It was 16 hours. I had to have
Wow.
4 meals in this plane.
What show was that out there?
That was Universe.
Oh, University in
Yeah.
Australia. You won that show?
Yes.
How many times? All right, let's go through
Oh
this. Let's go
my
through this.
gosh, I don't even
All right,
know.
let's work backwards. Okay, so you just won Masters Olympia.
Yes. I took
All right,
second on Open and it took second to Classic.
the second in Open
Yeah.
and second in Classic.
Yes.
Okay, then first place, Mr. America Classic Figure.
Yes.
Okay,
And
all right.
second
How many?
overall.
Yes, and second. Yep, and second overall. Right.
to Courtney.
Yeah, like 1 and 2 everywhere. So, okay, how many times have you won the universe?
2 times.
2 times natural universe. One was in Australia. Where was the other one? Was that in California, the other one?
Yes, back in the yes.
19 what year was that?
I
19,
think it was
18,
16, 15,
16?
15 or 16, one of the two.
Okay. And nationals, you won.
Yes, nationals for NPC, and then NGA I won Idaho. I did Salt Lake City a couple of times. And then I couldn't compete in here anymore, so I had to go outside of the state. And then I did Idaho.
Why couldn't you compete there anymore?
Oh, because I the problem is that I had already won twice and overall twice.
Right.
Um, one of the head judges said, "V, why are
You're
you
done.
doing this in town? Are you trying to
Right.
collect just trophies?" I'm like, "No." No, they said just go outside, let people.
Get out of your backyard. Go compete.
Yeah, get out of town.
So, worlds, you won worlds, correct?
3 times. Yeah,
3-time world champion.
yeah.
And let's see. So one was where were they? Romania, Greece.
Yes, Romania, Greece, and Italy.
That's where you won.
Yeah.
Okay. And was that the only 3 times you've competed in worlds?
Yes, Hungary. My first year, I think the first year I went to Hungary, but I didn't win that one. I took second in Hungary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then
I mean, I don't even know how
Olympics
many that is.
twice.
I was writing them down and I still can't keep track. You're just, you're fabulous.
Thank
So
you.
moving forward in 2024, what's the plan? Are you going to defend titles? Are you going after new titles? What's your plan?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Um, I am going to do Mr. America. So I am putting my name
Okay.
down there because I am going to come back. I am going to come for that. And then I am doing a couple of NGA shows. I haven't picked between because I do carry a pro card for them, but I haven't competed.
Are you gonna qualify and go to the NGA universe?
And that's what I'm trying to do. I think I'm going to do the qualification first and then go to the universe.
I could sign on to that. That's a good move.
Yeah. So
You don't have that one yet, right?
nope.
Okay.
That's what I was looking into. So
All right. So you're gonna have a busy fall. Anything sooner than the fall? You doing anything?
I have a couple of trips, so I am very dedicated to not dieting because that's not dieting for me anymore. It's more my lifestyle. So I have
Right.
a couple of trips coming up, and I'm going to Machu Picchu in April. So it's going
Okay.
to be a little tight if I wanted to do anything in the beginning of the
Mm,
year because of my
right, right.
Picchu preparation. But I think I'm just gonna push it towards like August and then all the way to the end.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to watch what you do in 24. I hope you have another amazing season.
Oh, I will.
Um,
I am
you're
planning on it.
Yeah, well, good. That's the idea, right? You don't go into it not wanting to have an amazing season. All right, good stuff, Veronica. How could people find you? Where do they find you?
Oh, they can find me on Instagram. I have a Hot V figure Barbie. That's the one. And then, of course, if you type Veronica Malloy on Facebook, I'm there too. So I try to
All right,
keep myself a little bit. I am very, sometimes I'm very out there, like I can be there because I have more free time. But because I'm so busy all the time, it kind of, social media sometimes gets a little bit on the way with my busy lifestyle.
right, right. Well, if anybody out there has any questions, I'm sure they could shoot you a message, and you'll get back to it at some
Yes,
point.
absolutely.
Um, but I mean, guys, if you want to see, world champions, this is definitely one to watch. Um, I've been very impressed by her since I've met her. I don't even know, 5, 6, 7 years ago now, and she just keeps getting better. So congratulations again,
Oh, thank you.
and we look forward to seeing what you do next season.
And I seriously, another thing I wanted to add to this, I'm like, the show that you put together is one of the best shows ever. So I think for people that are looking for a show to do, I think Mr. America should be in the top of the list. It's one,
MrAmerica.com. Listen, Veronica, I mean, I'm trying to do everything I possibly could, and I've taken a lot of things from a lot of different places that I've been, things that I've liked in places, things that I haven't liked,
mhm.
and I'm trying to really build out that, the show of shows. It's really transforming into that. I mean, you've been there. You were there in 2021,
Yes,
and you were there in 2023.
yes.
I forget what years we're in now.
No, me
Um,
too.
and you're going to be there in 24. It's going to be the 85th
Yeah.
anniversary. So what people have seen up until this point, I'm hoping to blow out of the water
And
moving
I
forward.
don't think
For
people have seen it enough. It will be so
no, not yet,
bigger.
not yet. I
Yeah,
mean,
because people are getting more. There are so many questions, people asking me all the time, and I think people have no idea until I competed, and then the transformation of the show that you have put together is absolutely amazing. Like the experience, all that like everybody, there was just a union back there that it's hard to find in the different organizations sometimes.
yeah,
There was that little fights or little things, and I don't like that.
yeah. We don't want that. That's not the energy we want at the
Exactly.
Mr. America.
I just love the
Um,
fact that when I went, it was just it was very nice. It was a wonderful experience.
Good. I'm glad you had a good time, and it takes people like you to actually come see it and experience it to really know what it is, right?
Yeah,
I could promote all I want, and be my own cheerleader and hoorah, yeah, Mr. America. But until you actually experience it, that's when you'll realize, wow, that this is something special. And I don't do that. Like I've promoted other shows with other organizations. I no longer promote with any other organizations. I'm just running the Mr. America independently. Um, you always try to do and put on a good show, right? You want to put on a good show for the athletes. You want to on a good show for the audience, and everybody that's involved. This hits me different.
it
It's
does.
such a long-standing show. It holds a lot of prestige behind the title. Um, People look at me like, oh, oh, Mr. America. No, 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 no. The athletes are what make the Mr. America, not me. I'm just putting that platform together for the athletes to come and make it into what it is. So, hats off to everyone who has competed and to everybody who's going to be competing for really making it special for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm from Utah, so it's across the freaking world. Seems like it's across the world. But
Yeah, well, there were some talks in the in the back offices of the Mr. America about moving it around a little bit, and we were thinking about doing that for the 85th, but there's too much logistically involved for what we're planning for the 85th anniversary to do it somewhere else. So we'll be back on Atlantic
I'm
City
so
this year again.
grateful. I'm just so grateful for the privilege of being part of the group and be part of the Miss America. I mean, it is a title that people will never understand until you step on that stage and see that. When the first one that you promoted was the one that you put the huge flag of the United States up there, and that gave me chills. Like I got up on
Yeah.
that stage and I felt everything. Like it was, I mean, I am a proud American anyway. Of
Mhm.
course, I'm an immigrant, but I came to this country with the American dream. And when I stepped on that stage, I'm telling you, it was so beautiful. And then this year, it was like, holy cow, why am I so sweaty? I'm so cold. So cold. It's just such a beautiful thing that you put together with all the people that have been helping you out. I mean, we feel welcome. We feel taken care of, and I think everyone should just do it.
Veronica, so you've been to the Mr. America twice now.
Yes.
You were there in 2021 at the Showboat. You came back in 2023 at the Tropicana. What have you seen different in those two shows? So you missed out on 22, but what have you seen different? Better, worse?
Wow, I was on the 20 this year when I went there. I could not believe the amount of the athletes. Like everywhere I was on social media a couple months before, they all were tagging Mr. America. And knowing them going to Mr. America, that they were going to Mr. America was incredible. Like, of course, I got super excited, and but the atmosphere from 2021 to 2023, it was gigantic difference. Everybody was so excited. It was so much more athletes. I think it was more of their excitement. Like everybody
Mhm.
backstage was just so excited to be there. Oh my
Is
gosh!
is that how you felt too?
I mean, the energy was so intoxicating that I got the same way too. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Whatever happens, happens.
That's great. It's so good to hear, athletes are having a good time and are excited about it. And that helps motivate me for what I'm doing, whether it's with the
Absolutely,
podcast or, pay-per-views or, television. Like, you guys are the reasons I do that.
yeah.
It's
And,
not for me, it's for you.
and
So it's
watching,
it's good to hear that people are excited about it.
and watching all the previous winners and doing what you guys do, kind of little short videos of them and stuff like that. It's just normal people. I mean, we love to watch what normal people are doing. Like we all normal
Yeah,
people. Yes, we have big titles, but I think we are normal people that live a normal life and
right.
kind of showcase them a little bit more. I was so excited to watch Misty and a little bit of little clips about her. I mean, she's super cute and sexy and it's nice to watch, fresh and fun, and I love it. I loved every
So you
minute of
say
it.
so you said everyone is, you're just normal people. So what does a normal day look like for a world champion like you? What do you do throughout the day?
Wow.
Are you working? Are you just getting up and, eating egg whites and meditating and manifesting wins into life? Or what is it that you're doing?
I have to say, I wake up every day between 5:30 to 6 a.m. and then I go to the gym. Then I come home and I eat my breakfast. Then I pack my food. Then I go to work. And then if I'm on prep, then I have to come home. Of course, I have all my meals because I carry my meals everywhere. But if I am prepping and for a show, I have to do the second cardio, which is between 20 to 30 minutes in the afternoon
Mhm.
or at nighttime. So yeah, it's pretty busy, but I don't fit. I mean, there's so many things that I do all throughout the whole day because my job, I mean, my work is kind of busy anyway.
What is it that you do for work?
So I'm an esthetician and I work in the clinic, and I
Okay.
mean, it's crazy. It's a busy clinic. We do a lot of things here, so we just I'm running like crazy all the time.
Veronica, thank you for taking this time to come chat with us and tell some of your story and get people, let people know who you are.
Thank-
And we'll be seeing you soon. Thank you
Yes,
again.
yes.
As we close out another great episode of Jim Eat Repeat, the podcast, thank you, Veronica Malloy, for coming on and letting us get to know you. It was great having you. For all of you listening out there or watching, because you could do both, remember October 11th through 13th, 2024, Atlantic City, New Jersey, the 85th anniversary of the Mr. America. Be there. If you're looking for some great merch, MrAmerica.com, right in our store.
Yeah, let's go, bless up, one time, go get it, it's yours, let's shine, come on. Yeah, there's nothing to say, oh God, nothing to say, I ain't have words.